Welcome to Fastrack Legal Solutions. We are starting a series on matrimonial disputes in the country, and today I'll be interviewing Advocate Govind Mali, and we'll be talking about matrimonial disputes. First of all, I would like to ask Sir, what do you think of the recently growing number of matrimonial disputes in the country?
So before we go to the number of matrimonial disputes, we need to come up with the idea that what are matrimonial disputes. Matrimonial disputes completely do not just mean that it is a divorce that is being done. Matrimonial dispute could be that two people are not able to gel up together. The families of two people are not treating each other properly. Matrimonial dispute could be that two people have decided to stay away from each other, but they want the children to be with one person, or one person has been given no access to the children. This all is covered under matrimonial disputes. Now, when we say why are matrimonial disputes increasing, there cannot be a single reason for them to increase. One reason could be that people are not able to understand the depth of each other. They are not able to get into the ideas of life, and they are just into superficial things and the materialistic things, which makes the marriages fail. Second is that people are becoming very advanced nowadays. I would like to put it this way. Now, when a child is in school, from childhood till when he is of the age of marriage, he's gone through many breakups in life. The number of breakups actually make him immune to the idea that losing people and ending a relationship is not a very big thing. So they also start feeling that if a marriage is not working out, it could be ended too. But marriages, as it is said as per the Hindu Marriage Act and as per the Hindu religion also, marriage is not a contract, it's a sacrament. So it has to be treated like one. Another reason for failing of marriages is that people have started expecting too much from each other without knowing each other a lot. You know, the maximum cases of divorces that are coming to me are in the very early stages of marriage. 2 years of marriage and they want a divorce. 3 years of marriage, they want a divorce. Those marriages in which the divorces are coming after a long period of time are actually those in which the marriages were basically made on compromises to a very large extent, where only one individual was compromising, not both the individuals were compromising.
So I would like to ask you about what do you think about matrimonial disputes, and now that you've told me about the problems that are and what the reasons are behind it, what do you think are the solutions behind these problems?
Solutions are that you need to talk to each other, you need to understand how much the pocket is of the other person. Another issue that comes in is, see, for example, in love marriages or when you start dating. When you start dating someone, you go highly dressed to meet that person. You try to do things out of the box to impress that person. For example, it's your first Valentine's date. You would go with a bouquet of flowers. You'll bring some chocolates with you. You'll be wearing good perfumes. You'll be dressed in the best that you have. But over the period of times, you start taking other person for granted. The idea of the relationship being there tries to be faded off. The other person is being taken for granted. Another reason is that marriages can be saved if you are able to talk and there is no interference of a third person. So what is happening in a domestic household today is that, for example, there's a fight between the husband and the wife. The mother-in-law tends to come in and start speaking. Sometimes the daughter's father or mother start interfering in her life. Then in certain marriages, domestic marriages in India, even the sister-in-laws of the girl start interfering. That, this was happening with me also. So I did not speak about it, but you should speak about it. So what happens there is that someone or the other is trying to play safe and use you for their own benefits. So what needs to be done is that you need to sit down and consciously decide that what is going wrong and where is it going down. And if you think that it is not going to work out, then make a conscious decision that this marriage is not going to work. It's going to fail today or some other day.
Thank you very much, sir. Moving on, I'd like to ask you about matrimonial laws and how they are with respect to men in society.
Men in society?
Yeah.
See, that's a very controversial question, and that's got an obvious answer. The matrimonial laws in India are still more towards the women. the rights which a men left with are very less. Because see, a woman can file 498A on you, that is basically dowry. Then there's a domestic violence act that can come in, interim maintenance can come in. Though interim maintenance is basically, or maintenance is basically a gender neutral law, because even if a man is not working, he can also be told by the courts that he will be paid a certain amount by his wife. But when it comes to other cases, there are a lot of fake cases also. I mean, I have been witness to cases wherein I've been fighting with the men from the men's side, and the women have put in cases wherein the father-in-law, mother-in-law, everybody has been made an accused in the case, but they were never staying together. Only the husband and the lady were staying together. So, in those cases, what happens is that you start failing the system at times, because even the system, once a case is filed, it has to be adjudicated. The courts cannot just say that this is a fake case. They will have to go into the merits of the case, they will have to go into the evidences of the case. So basically, the laws are a bit biased, but there are a lot of judgments in which courts have supported men when the cases were right. I know a very close friend of mine in whose case 498A case was quashed to the bits and pieces, stating that all the allegations made are false and fabricated. So, a few days back, one of the family courts in the country, along with the session judge, has given an order that a false rape case in itself should be dealt with a strict hand. So, the society is transforming. But, with respect to the abuse that is happening, women are still being patronized in certain places. Women are still being abused at certain places. So that also needs to be taken in mind by the lawmakers. But certainly gender neutral laws need to come in.
Okay, sir. What do you think about the future of matrimonial laws? And do you think they will be more progressive in the future for women, especially who are on the receiving end of abuse that goes on in matrimonial disputes, especially in a society like India as?
I don't really think that only women go through abuse in a marriage. There are men who are being thrashed, and I know people who were not even allowed to go to the funerals of their own parents by their wives, stating that if you go, I will leave you. Children born out of marriages were not allowed to meet their grandparents. With respect to the progression is not going to be only between men and women. There will be time when the marriages, same-sex marriages, will have to be recognized in this country. They are not being recognized today, but we are allowing the living together of same-sex couples also. When we say we are allowing the marriages of same-sex couples, that means polyandry, what do you call it?
Polygamy.
No, not polygamy, I'm forgetting that word. Basically, maintenance for living couples is also there. So those laws have to be coming up. We need to come up with that point. So basically what is happening is that we are thinking with a scope that laws will improve. Any law or any new thing to come in, it takes years. Sati Pratha did not get abolished in a day. It took years for Sati Pratha to go away. We are still fighting the evil of caste system in this country. When we are fighting the system of caste in this country, it will also slowly and gradually improve, and an idea would come in wherein the caste system would be in a good manner taken into consideration and abuses will reduce. So, for any law to succeed, it takes time.
Thank you very much. That will be the interview.
Thank you.